Hello and welcome to Breaking Bread with Rivaaj Maharaj, where nothing is off the table. For today's episode, I wanted to talk on Marco Rubio's trip to Munich and him not attending the meeting with European leaders and Volodymyr Zelensky regarding Ukraine. So without further ado, let's get into it. Marco Rubio has touched down in Munich. He's representing the United States at these talks. However, something significant happened today. Some of the European leaders from the EU, along with Volodymyr Zelensky, were due to meet with Marco Rubio so they could all sit down and discuss what was on the cards for the future of Ukraine and how the negotiations were moving forward. And apparently at the last minute, Marco Rubio cancelled his presence at that meeting, citing that it conflicted with other meetings that he had scheduled at the same time. Now, there's a few things that have happened as a result of this. Last year, J.D. Vance had attended this meeting. This year, he didn't. He sent Marco Rubio instead. And this is similar to what Pete Hegseth did by sending Eldridge Colby instead of Pete Hegseth attending the meeting with the European leaders. I must stress, the writing for Europe is on the wall. It cannot be clearer than this. Any of these European leaders that are still living in La La Land thinking that the Americans are going to swoop in like knights in shining armor and guarantee the security, it's over. You either get your act together now, you either get your defense in order, and you either look after protecting your own interests, or you're going to be sorely shocked when the threat arrives at your doorstep and you woefully unprepared to meet that threat head on. And as you've seen from recent times, the threat could even come from the United States. I'm referring to the Greenland debacle. So Marco Rubio attending firstly was a signal. Secondly, him not going to the meeting or attending the meeting was also a signal. Now, this can also be seen because Marco Rubio tends to be somebody who is more sympathetic to the Ukrainian cause and from those in the Trump administration. So I think he's been briefed in advance, do not attend the meeting, do not go in and give any guarantees and do not discuss anything. We've said what we needed to say. Our cards are on the table. They can choose to go with it or they can walk away. But either way, you've got other issues to deal with. And once again, this is really significant. We'll just go through some of the takeaways in this article in the Financial Times. It says, Rubio was set to attend the meeting with leaders from countries including Germany, Poland, Finland and the European Commission in Munich on Friday afternoon, but cancelled at the last minute because of scheduling conflicts. The secretary won't be attending the Berlin format meeting on Ukraine given the number of meetings he has happening at the same time, a US official said. He is engaging on Russia-Ukraine in many of his meetings here in Munich. One European official said the cancellation was insane. It came as the Trump administration increasingly distances itself from its European allies and is seeking to push Ukraine towards a settlement with Russia to end the almost 4-year-long war. The thing that really gets me, I don't understand. This is almost like, in a relationship between a man and a woman, and the man or the woman just is not interested in the relationship anymore. But like a stalker, you have one party that continuously lives in hope and wants this relationship to materialize. The Europeans need to understand. Calling this insane and, talking about the United States increasingly distancing itself from Europe, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. It's been said time and again. Not only has it been said, the actions of the United States administration towards its allies regarding Greenland is enough to let you know where they stand. Now, if you're incapable of looking and reading the situation, looking at and reading the situation as it is, then you have to question your ability to hold the office that you currently hold. Because anybody with half a brain cell would understand that the writing is on the wall. Now, at this point, you cut your losses. Whatever the United States gives you, you say thank you. However, you bet on the fact that you're getting zero from them. You turn your country around, you fortify your own defenses, and you know that now in this game, you can only rely on yourself. Forget about relying even on the rest of Europe. Because Europe, as I've said before, is the EU is an impotent body. They are woefully incapable of reaching consensus on the most frivolous of details, let alone something as big as European security. Macron's put forward a plan, it's been shot down by the Germans and the Italians. So there already it tells you, there's no, they had the coalition of the willing. As much as I thought it was a big joke, at the end of the day, the takeaway from it is enough to make you understand that they can't even agree on that. So this hope and wishful thinking that the United States is going to ride in and save the day, they can't be any more clear. You have to be absolutely thick to still expect that the United States is going to come into your rescue. They've said they're pivoting back to their neighborhood. They've got other things that they need to deal with. This is the United States forcing the Ukrainian and the European hands at a settlement with the Russians. And it seems to be working. Macron has come out and spoken about now having to meet Putin. I think Merz has echoed some similar sentiments. Because in the face of rejection by the United States, what does Europe have to stand on? If the Europeans think that they are currently in a position to take on the Russians, I think they're barking up the wrong tree. So they can go in and make a genuine peace with the Russians and look at how we can all live harmoniously and interact with each other so that Europe can become some formidable force. Or alternatively, they can go back to their old duplicitous games. We experts at that. The Germans are experts at that. We lie to the Russians, buy time, build the Ukrainian army up again, and then send them out as cannon fodder. Or maybe build one of the other Baltic nations up and use them. Because that's what we do, right? But I'm saying, whichever path you choose, you need to make a decision now. The writing is on the wall. Rubio is actually treating you like you are some irrelevant piece of chewing gum stuck to his shoe and he's just trying to scrape you off on the sidewalk. And you still want to be there on hands and knees. Mark Rutte has to play this game. Because if there's no NATO, he's out of a job. What is he going to do? Who is going to give the man a job? With all the bullshit and posturing he's been putting out, who is going to give the guy a job? Nobody. So again, the writing is on the wall. Ukraine is now over. They need to do a deal with the Russians. Alternatively, they're going to become landlocked. They're going to have nothing left. And they're just going to be this little blot on the world map that is going to be playing second fiddle to a Russian administration that is fully in control of every facet of their life. I want to thank you for spending time with us. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Please remember to like, share and subscribe as it helps us with the algorithm and it helps our channel to grow.